Hello, music makers. Welcome back. One of the most upvoted comments in recent times has been Inner Mono's request for a DJ Heartstring video. So I've quickly recreated a few tracks, and obviously I've got a few thoughts. Now, unfortunately, this week has been extremely busy for me. I don't have any time left to make a structured video on this. So this will just be a quick overview, show you where I'm up to, which tracks I've chosen, and also an opportunity to ask you guys what you want to know. And also, I'm hoping this will act as some kind of copyright test to see if I get demonetized on these, as that's going to influence future videos, obviously. Okay, so here's where I'm up to. This is going to be very rambly, by the way, unscripted, not very neat, edited. So first one I did was Will You Remember Me When I'm Gone? It sounds like this. We'll soon see if my recreations are too close to the originals. I don't know if these ones will get copyrighted. I'll just play my versions for now instead of the originals, just so I can test the copyright. And you guys could tell me what you think if they're close enough. I've not been too strict with getting the drums sounding very close, or the bass, really. This is kind of an average of what they've used across the 4 tracks I remade. I noticed they had very similar kicks and very similar bass kind of vibes. Well, 90s trance, basically, isn't it? So speaking of which, let's look at those. So 90s 909-ish kind of kick. Very short. We can't have anything too long or deep because we don't want a note in there because we're changing chords. All of these have chord progressions. So we don't want a bass on a note. And also we're at 145 BPM plus. It's between 145 and 150, these 4 tracks. So faster tracks, you don't want long kick drums unless it's a rumble kick type genre like techno. So yeah, short kick, diver kick, 909 kind of vibe. Where I got this one from was by being lazy, and because I didn't have time, I just threw a DJ Heartstring kick into kick 3. Sonic Digital's kick 3. And that kind of re-synthesized me a kick that sounds very similar. If you want to know how to do that, I could do a video on that as well. There is a free plugin which can also do that, and is also very good. Let me know if you want a video on re-synthesizing. So 909 type kick. The top loops were all kind of similar throughout the tracks I listened to. The main elements are, you've got the classic 909-ish 16th square, no swing. The clap's quite 909 as well. And then the main addition is I call these Techno rattlers. Those kind of things. Classic crossover from techno and trance in the early days when it was still almost the same genre. They had a lot of crossover traits in the drums. Again, completely square, no swing, 16th notes, shakers, rattly things with the 909 type hi-hats of varying lengths. I've got some longer ones here. Optional ride cymbals. Their arrangements are quite simple. Usually just involves bringing in and out the various elements. No super production on overthinking the transitions or anything like that. It's just bringing elements in and out, adding extra drums like ride cymbals, etc. to pick up the track. So yeah, that's the main drums anyway that I have noticed in a lot of their stuff so far. As for bass, I noticed they were using a lately bass type sound. I don't know if it's an actual lately bass sample or just similar. That sounds like this. Some of the basses are these I call them off donks, offbeat 8s. Some are more like this style. And the South Star collab has this one. But I've just made a quick lately bass type sound in Vital. It's not actually true to the lately bass because I've not done it with FM synthesis, as is true to the original. So I might have to do that, and I might go through a few more of their tracks and get a small collection of the bass variations, because Left on Red does have a different bass sound. It's a lot chunkier than this. Not that it matters much, you still get the right vibe, but I might do some more bass sounds. Yeah, so lead sounds, spoiler alert, mostly square waves, or square based. Anyway, normally I appear on these tutorials and tell you it's all saw waves, but this time it's squares or square based. You get this type of sound from rounding off a square, which is, you could do it in several ways. There's a filter here, and I've used the warp mode that low passes the actual waveform itself. Sounds like that. Anyway, slightly mixed in, pulse width squeezed square wave, a couple of octaves up. That gives it a different kind of edge. You don't hear it as an octave though, you hear it as a harmonic. That seems to get mixed in and out during the track. And speaking of squares, there's this lead sound, counter lead, counter string, whatever you want to call it. That's also a square wave, lots of chorus on it. Again, we'll go through the sounds properly in a video. As for musically, G sharp minor. This is a 1, 3, 4, 6, 7 turn around there. It's all fully diatonic, all minor so far that I've analyzed anyway. No mega surprises, no strange chords. In fact, there's no chords in this one, it's all implied. The next one I looked at, It Ain't Over, does have chords. That one's in G minor, one down. That's a 1, 3, 5, 6. Quite similar. Again, off donk pattern on the bass. The chords, all diatonic, standard triads. Well, actually, these are extensions because the bass here is a D and a D sharp. So those make extensions when you put them on top of the bass. And the lead is basically an ARP of the chord most of the time. This one's an ARP of the 9th of the chord. The sound is, again, square based, but pulse width changed, and a pulse width squeezed saw mixed in as well with some chorus on it. Then I did Left on Red. This is not an off-donk pattern. This is what I believe is usually called a tresillo. Tresillo, I know, is Spanish for triplet, but this isn't a triplet. It's a 3-3-2 rhythm. So if we were counting it in sixteenths, 3 16ths, 3 16ths, 2 16ths, 3-3-2. The chords, 3 chords. It's just chord 6, chord 1, chord 7. We're in A sharp minor this time. Just going around 6, 1, 7. The lead on this one, again, square bass, as I said earlier. This is nearer a pure square. I've mixed in a bit of that squeezed saw. Chorus again, very similar to the other sound. And there's a trance pluck. Doing an ARP of the chord. And also delay reverb. It's basically 3 stacked saws with a lot going on in this ramped envelope, which is being sent to pitch and filter, which gets you that whiff, 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 whiff kind of sound. Obviously, lots of delay, lots of reverb. And then lastly, I did the South Star collab, Don't Stop. So the bass on this one. that kind of pattern, which is all three apart from either there's a rest at the beginning, gap, or sometimes I thought I heard one. Chord progression is, this is a 6, this is a 1, that's a 3, that's a 7 in B minor. 6, 1, 3, 7, B minor. This one's chorded as well. It's a bit of a messy mix, so I couldn't hear precisely what was going on in the time I've had, at least anyway. But again, mostly triads. This is on top of an E in the bass, so that becomes an extension, just like the ones before. That's chord 1. That's the extension of chord 6, makes it a 7th. This is chord 3 with an add 9. And that's just a straight chord 7. As for the lead, this is another arpeggiated lead. Some little variations at the end of the bars, which come out of the chord. The rest of the notes are pretty much in the chord, basically. As for the sound, have I shown that one yet? No. Again, pulse width, altered square, with the saw is a bit more dominant this time, actually. To get the sound, I had to play with the formant on the square. A bit more kind of high-pitched, thinner, wiry. Also, a lot of randomization going to things like tuning and the pulse width, just trying to make it a bit more wonky. The one in their track sounds like it's a bit more unstable. You know, it's not the same note every time. But those are the 4 I've done so far. I did line up If You Want My Heart, but it's not one I would aim for if I was going to emulate their sound. It wasn't typical of the rest of their stuff. The rest of their stuff's it's clean, but it's lo-fi. Clean, lo-fi, bedroom produced, whatever you want to call it. Probably what would have sounded like a good studio recording in 1990 now sounds like a lo-fi bedroom recording. That's kind of where it's at, isn't it? So it's those kind of vibes. Let me know if you'd like me to do a specific track other than these 4, and let me know what you want to know the details on, and we'll do some dedicated videos. I'm thinking we should do a video on the melody traits. I'm starting to pick up on a few melody traits that they use. I've not really formed my thoughts properly on that yet. As I say, I might want to do some other bass sounds, so let me know if you want to do bass sound design or just sound design in general. That's where I'm at currently. Sorry, there's not a structured video this week. It was rather chaos. There was a birthday of a friend and a funeral, so didn't leave me with much time to make a proper video, I'm afraid. But yeah, get typing down below, and I will see you next week in the comments. Bye-bye.